Hola muchachas, yo soy la profesora Lopez. I'm your Spanish instructor this summer for Spanish 10280 online. And I just want to give you a video update for this week. I normally do provide a video update every week to make sure that we are starting off the week on the same page and everybody is comfortable with what we need to get done for this particular week, what's due and what needs to be done. Last week, y'all were just familiarizing yourself with the course, taking those housekeeping quizzes for me, the syllabus quiz, the course overview quiz, the Are You D2L Ready quiz, and most people, it seems like, have gotten their access code for iLrn and have accessed and set up an account in iLrn, which is super important because that's where you find your e-textbook and that's where you will be doing all of your homework assignments and your chapter quizzes. So it looks pretty good. Looks like everybody did that and was successful that first week. This week we're starting into content, like we're really diving into chapter 5. As we get started, I wanted y'all to go in, let's look at the content in your course in D2L. And I want y'all to look at the Spanish 102 pacing guide for this summer. Hopefully you guys have already looked at this. I really strongly recommend that you print it and keep a hard copy of it on your desk or in a binder, someplace where you can glance at it quickly and just get an idea of what your due dates are and what's coming up for this particular week. But I did change a little bit of information, or I should say I added some information. I didn't change any due dates. Like I said, I just added information. And what I added was the topic for each grammar quiz that you'll be taking this semester. That wasn't there before. And I noticed your overview was lacking that. Your pacing guide was lacking that, and we needed to put it in. Because what you're going to find out is when you take quizzes in iLrn, you normally have 3 per chapter. When you click on a quiz, when you see a quiz, it doesn't tell you what the quiz is about. And so in the past, I've had students click on the quiz just to see what was the topic of the quiz so that they could prepare and study for the quiz. However, when you do that and look at the quiz, iLrn counts that as one of your 2 attempts. So what we've done, instead of taking away one of those 2 attempts, and still help you be able to prepare for the quiz, is that I went ahead and put the grammar concept that's going to be on that particular quiz right here in the pacing guide for you. So at the end of this week, for May 26th, this Sunday, you in iLrn will be doing the chapter 5 quiz number 4. When you see it in iLrn, it doesn't say anything about what's going to be on that quiz. However, here I've told you the present progressive, that grammar structure, is going to be on quiz number 4. So make sure that you know what the present progressive is and how it works before you click on the chapter 5 quiz number 4. Okay? All right, so you'll see those throughout. Okay, I've put those in for you. So that's something you want to note. Discussions. We do weekly discussions in here. This is a great way for me to introduce some cultural topics. It's also a good way for us to, for me to give some formative feedback on how well y'all are doing with grammar and how you understand grammar. We also have some fun little discussion posts, weekly discussion posts, where you guys will really get to interact with one another. The discussion posts, the weekly discussion posts, count towards your overall grade. It's like your in-class weekly discussion post grade. And it's also how I take attendance for this course. These are, last week we had our first one, and it was just introducing yourself to the class, to me and to your classmates. Thank you guys for those who participated. And the one for this week, I just opened it today. Y'all are going to be learning about the siesta and the future of the siesta, I should say. I just opened this today. It will be due, your post. You need to follow the instructions in post. Your weekly post will be due this Sunday, May the 26th at 11:59 p.m. Okay, so make sure you do your discussion post this week for me. I'm so happy to see a couple students have already taken advantage of the class cafe. This is where you can post any questions, and I encourage you as a student to respond to your classmates in this post, this particular forum, if you have some good information to share with them, or think you may have the answer, or you think you can direct them in the right direction, because there's only one of me and there's like 25 of y'all. So 25 students logging in and off of the course, in and out of the course throughout the week, and one instructor logging in through the week, it's probably more likely that one of y'all will see one of your classmates post before I do, and may be able to give that classmate some information or some assistance in a much more rapid fashion than if they had to wait for me to get back to them. Okay, so that's really there for y'all to kind of work together and help yourself, help each other out with the course. So moving from that, from this particular class cafe, that gives me a good jumping off point to our homework assignments in iLrn, because that's what our first question was about in our class cafe. So if you are getting into iLrn and you log into our course, so we want to look at it from the student view, okay? What we have here is, you'll see you automatically, like your default page that you land on should be the assignment calendar when you log into iLrn. This is where you find your homework, okay? And it's very, very important that your assignment calendar is set on view by date, not view by chapter, okay? View by date, because as one student already mentioned in the class cafe, I don't assign all the homework assignments in numerical order. So you don't want to just run through a chapter and do your homework. You want to see what's due each week, okay? So when you look at the calendar, remember everything in Spanish class is due on Sunday at 11:59 p.m. So you want to make sure that you are clicking on your Sundays, okay? And so you'll see when I click on the 26th, you'll see the activities due for this coming Sunday. And when I click on June the 2nd, you will see all the assignments that are due for that particular Sunday, okay? So make sure you're looking at Sundays and you have view by date. And you will start completing these assignments, okay? Notice up at the top, this is where you have that Chapter 5 Grammar Quiz number 4 that I was just mentioning in our pacing guide, which is about the present progressive. And the quiz is listed at the top. It's always listed at the top. All the quizzes are always listed at the top of the list of assignments to do. Please don't do your quiz first. Please make sure you do all of these homework assignments first, because these homework assignments will really prepare you for that quiz. Okay, so you want to make sure you practice with your homework as much as possible before you start you try your 2 attempts on the quiz. Okay, so don't be fooled by the fact that it's at the top. Don't start with that. When you do a homework assignment, like I said, I've clicked on this one here. You do the homework assignment and you submit answers, and the system doesn't take you right back to the calendar. Instead, it kind of gives you this, overall summary of how you did on the assignment, and then you have this menu over here of a whole bunch of different activities and assignments that can be done for Chapter 5. Don't look at that menu. That menu has nothing to do with what I've assigned. It's just all the resources that are available to you from Chapter 5. So once you've finished a homework assignment, go back to the assignment calendar. Just click back onto the assignment calendar, okay? And then it'll show up with a green check, the assignments that you have already attempted or the assignments that you've already completed, okay? And then you can see, of course, if there's no check mark, these still need to be done, okay? So that's how you use it. If you land on your ebook, this is how, of course, you get to your ebook and things like that. There's some practice activities. There's a whole bunch of other things I encourage you to really kind of just explore in this whole website, because they have some really neat resources, but always come back to that assignment calendar on view by date for your homework assignments. Okay? All right, good. So let's see here. Let's move all these out of the way. So what I'm going to do is, if we go back to our content, you're going to see for this week, like I said, you're diving into the material for Chapter 5, which is really basically ser en estar. That's what Chapter 5 really focuses on. Your first week, this particular week, you're working on estar with the present progressive. But next week, you're going to start looking at actually comparing and contrasting the uses of ser versus estar, and saber and conocer. And these get a little tricky for English speakers. So what I've done is I've created some video tutorials on saber versus conocer, and Sarah versus a star, and I'm going to post them in this announcement for you guys, along with the link to your discussion post for this week. Even though I'm a week ahead on that grammar, go ahead if you want to start watching those tutorial videos on subair versus conocer and Sarah versus a star. You can always, work a little bit ahead and start looking at your homework for next week on June the 2nd. You can always work ahead in this course, but you can't turn anything in late. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and post those if you guys want to start watching them. They're short. I really encourage you to watch them because I think you'll find them very helpful. All right? You guys let me know if y'all have any questions. Ciao, ciao.